Hey guys, welcome to the clubhouse. I'm Billy Jackson. This is my cat Tack, and today we're going to be doing our spoiler review on Star Wars: The Last Jedi. If you have not seen this movie, don't watch this video because I'm going to be talking about everything that happened in Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and covering some stuff that I didn't like and the things that I did like. Now, I did see this movie again, so I don't know if you saw my last review, but I gave it a 7.5, and I wanted to see it again because I was kind of disappointed with some of the stuff in the movie, and that's what I'm going to discuss with you now and tell you what my score is going to be after my second viewing. Now, starting off, we're in a Star War. It's a space battle, and I did like that we were in space for half this movie. More than half. The whole plot takes place in space, so I was cool with that because I love science fiction space battle stuff. So all of that was really cool. The first time that they cracked the joke, where Commander Hux is telling Poe Dameron, he's giving that speech, tell Leia that this is the end of the Republic. And then Poe Dameron's like, yes, I'm still holding for Hux, Commander Hux. It was funny. It made me laugh, but it also took me aback some because Star Wars is known to have humor in it, but they're not funny movies, if that makes sense. I hope you understand what I mean. That they have natural humor, through the chemistry of the characters. The writing is well done, in the original trilogy. But in this movie, that was just so ham-fisted in, just to make you laugh, and it just really made me mad. So I went in, and it was like a spoof movie would do that, and that's why I thought this felt like a spoof movie the first time I watched it, because they were totally doing this gag reel, of stuff, and that's the one thing I didn't like about this movie the most is the humor in it. And then they show the iconic scene now that's from The Force Awakens where Rey's handing Luke Skywalker the lightsaber, and he takes it and he looks at it, and you get this feeling, at least I did, that this is the one he lost fighting his father, in The Empire Strikes Back, which is my favorite movie of all time. And now he has it back in his hand. What does he do? Throws it over his shoulder. It was made to make us laugh. It's not what the character would do, and I was disappointed in that. That really made me angry. And then they continued with this sort of slapstick comedy kind of stuff, with him squeezing out the blue milk in the udder of that creature, and drinking it. It was totally pointless and useless to do this. I understand you wanted to show him, how does he drink when he's there? How does he eat? How does he fish? And I like the whole how he fished scene. I love that. That was awesome. But him squeezing the udder and getting the milk out, it was just so ridiculous to me. I didn't like that. It was moments like that made me really mad at this movie the first time I watched it. The second time I watched it, I knew this stuff was coming, so it went right by me really quick. So I was engaged in the story more because I knew there was a great story to come, with the whole Rey and Kylo Ren thing. So I'm over it, I'm over it. But anyway, let's go on to some other stuff I didn't like. The whole Leia scene, when she gets blown out of the cockpit. At first, I loved it. When they did it, I was like, oh my gosh, they took some risk. And they've got the balls to do this, to kill her like this so soon in the movie. But what does she do? She comes back to life, which she would have been dead in like 30 seconds. But 5 minutes later, she comes back to life, puts her hand out, and pulls herself into the ship. It's a cool concept, but the way they made it look, if she would have done it like immediately after being blown out and like pulled herself back in, I would have liked that more, because I know she's a Force user, and from what I know, behind the scenes and through books and stuff, that she's a very powerful Force user, but she doesn't use it a lot, but she's strong in the Force. But so her being able to do that is totally plausible, and I didn't mind the ability to do it, but it was the timing of it. You know, she would have been dead, you know, before that would have happened. But anyway, I love Carrie Fisher, you know, rest in peace. You know, I just wish they would have done better with that scene. And a lot of people love that scene. So, but it's just me. I just thought it was a little wonky, her flying through the air and, you know, coming into the ship. I think they could have done that a little better. So that was a problem. My next major problem with, now, the rest of the movie keeps going pretty good. Then we get to Snoke. We get to Rey and Kylo and Snoke. I love that. And Andy Serkis has been on record to say that Snoke is more powerful than the Emperor. He's got more resources than the Emperor. That, you know, this guy is, he's bad. He's bad news and strong and powerful on the dark side of the Force. And Snoke is sitting here telling Rey, there's no good in Kylo, you know, because I can see in him. I know all his intentions. I know exactly what he's going to do. But yet, while he's saying that, Kylo Ren's like moving the lightsaber beside him, and it goes through him, and he pulls it to himself and cuts Snoke in half, and Snoke dies. He just said that I see all of his intentions, but he just couldn't see that intention. Now, granted, people could say, well, the dark side's elusive, and, you know, it can hide itself just like the Emperor hid himself from the whole Jedi Council. So after watching that movie and being upset with the scene and watching some reviews from people that know more about Star Wars than I do, that they made me kind of a believer in that could happen. So on the second viewing, I didn't mind it. So as you see, there's a pattern of me not liking stuff the first time I saw it and then liking it the second time I saw it, because I just let it go past me. I try not to worry about it. I just try to stay in the mind frame that I'm watching a Star Wars film and just be thankful that I'm watching a Star Wars film. So that's what I went into the second viewing with, that kind of attitude, and I loved it a lot more. Now, the next major thing that I did not like about this movie was Luke Skywalker not battling someone. You know, for one, this is the first episodic Star Wars movie that did not have a lightsaber battle. That is a major gripe for me, because Star Wars to me is lightsabers and Jedi and the Sith and them fighting each other. I mean, sure, the fight with Rey and Kylo with those, I think they're called Praetorian Guards, the red guards that guarded Snoke, once they killed Snoke and they started fighting them together, the best scene in the whole movie. I loved that scene. So that was awesome, and I'm glad we got that, but I still wanted some lightsaber on lightsaber clashing. I mean, that's what Star Wars is to me. So I was upset that I didn't get that. But then they bring in Luke Skywalker. You know, the Resistance is down to like just a few people. They're in this building and they're getting ready to, you know, get rushed upon by the First Order. Then Luke shows up. He goes outside and stands in front of 5 walkers and Kylo's ship, and I'm just like, I sit up in my seat. The first time I watched it, I sat up in my seat and was like, oh yes, this is what I've been waiting for. Come on, Luke, take all those AT-ATs and just crush them into one big ball and just toss them over the side like you did your own lightsaber. And that's what I thought I was going to get. What they do, shoot down on his position, which I like that too, because I was hoping he would, and they gave me what I wanted. He walked out of it and went, So that was awesome. That was cool. I was like, this is Luke, yes. And then Kylo's like, well, I'm going to go down there. And I was like, yes, this is my scene. It's coming. Kylo goes down there, and then Luke and Kylo Ren are facing off, you know, student versus master. You know, you betrayed me. You know, I betrayed you. They're getting ready to fight. They ignite their lightsabers, and they move their feet, and they're getting ready to storm at each other. And he goes right by him. Then he realizes that he's a mental projection of Luke Skywalker, and that was the biggest disappointment in this movie to me, was that. Even though the second time I watched it, I liked it better because it was how he died. Because, you know, Kylo told Rey when they were seeing each other through the Force that You know, how are you able to do this? You know, only a trained Jedi could even survive doing this. You would die trying. So I don't understand why we're able to. Later revealed to be Snoke that was pulling them together and letting them see each other. But it showed, once I paid attention to that scene, and then I saw what Luke did, and then he died from projecting himself. You know, he saved everybody without having to be there and without having to die, you know, by lightsaber, you know. And I think that's why they did this scene this way, because I think they wanted to kill Luke off, but they didn't want him to be killed by a lightsaber. They didn't want a duel and then him get killed, because, let's be honest, Luke is the strongest Force user in this universe, and no one would be able to beat him in a lightsaber duel. So after I saw that in a review, and it kind of made sense to me, you know, then I saw it again the second time, I liked it. And then when he's sitting Indian style, you know, in the meditation mode, and the two suns are, you know, sunset is in the background, and then, you know, which is my favorite iconic scene from movies, is him looking at the sunset, you know, in the first Star Wars movie, you know, and it plays Luke Skywalker's theme. Then it played his theme again in this movie with the two suns sunsetting. So he kind of lived by that, and he died by that. So I'm now cool with it, and I know he's coming back as a Force ghost in Episode 9 to help train Rey, and I'll be excited about that. But I really wish I could have got another lightsaber fight with Luke Skywalker. So him not doing that, you know, that's what upset me. But another thing that I did like about this movie, and that's the very last scene of the movie with the little kid. I didn't like the whole Canto Bight scene, you know, the casino world that they were on, and Finn and Rose's like subplot. I didn't like all that. I think they could have done totally without that in this movie and made it 30 minutes shorter. But it did set up this little kid that Rose gave the rebellion ring to, and if I'm not mistaken, that ring once belonged to Princess Leia. So now this kid has that ring, and it shows him at the end. You know, he's labeled Broom Kid now, so because he pulls that broom to him by using the Force, you know, to start sweeping, and then he holds it up kind of like looking into space and holding the broomstick like a lightsaber. It made me feel like a kid again, and that was total Disney right there. It was a Disney ending, and I was cool with it. So, and once I saw it again the second time, I loved it even more, you know, because I paid attention to the kid in the Canto Bight scene after I knew that was going to happen. So I liked it better, and now that I have seen the movie twice, I'm going to say that I actually love this movie. Just get past the stupid humor, get past the expectations. You know, just like Rey's parents, you know, the whole big question, you know, I thought she was going to be Luke or Obi-Wan's daughter. Turns out that she's nobody's daughter. You know, they just sold her for money. You know, her parents were drunks or something. You know, so Kylo could have been lying about that, and that is a speculation going around the internet that he actually lied to her and her parents are significant. But honestly, your parents do not have to be significant for you to be a powerful Force user. As a matter of fact, they would find these kids that were, you know, strong in the Force, and their parents were nobodies. That's a normal way to find a Jedi. So that being said, them being nobody is fine with me. I'm cool with that, but I wish they wouldn't have built up so much, you know, mystery about it in the Force Awakens, because everybody's been going crazy about this whole parent thing. You know, I really don't care. I was into it. You know, I was hoping it'd be Obi-Wan's granddaughter, but turns out they're not. But anyway, Kylo could be lying. Let's hope that he is, because I want her parents to mean something, but if they don't, then it's no big deal. Just move along with the story. So anyway, love the movie overall. Just try to get past some of the stuff that you think might have happened because of Force Awakens, because this movie does not answer. It answers all your questions, but not in the way you would probably think. Not in the way I thought. So I was disappointed at first, but then after I watched it again, I loved it. So now my review is at 8.5. Alright, well guys, have you seen The Last Jedi? I'm sorry this video kind of went long, but I really wanted to get out all my, thoughts and feelings about this, because Star Wars is my favorite franchise. But what is your favorite franchise? Is it Star Wars? Did you love this movie? Have you seen it? Did you not like it the first time? And if you didn't like it the first time, I totally suggest watching it a second time. You will appreciate it better. All right, well, guys, leave me your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to like my videos and subscribe to my channel. And as always, make yourself happy every day. And the only way to do that is to remember, the only thing stopping you is you stopping.